Yeah, yeah. Roll call, listen. They go to sauce bars. Clock on the wall, still ticking. Blue crew posted in the bag. A whole room, listen. True crime cafe, coffee, black eyes, red files on the table, cold cases, cold dread, seeking the truth. Ink stains on his hand, pics on the corkboard, string lines, map land, busting these cases, long nights, tight grind. Everything will be fine. He repeat that line. Blue crew backs him, keep him on track. One step from the edge, they pulling them back. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost. Gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, hoping he can answer just a few. Yo, true crime cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest. This the true talk, solving the bullshit, lies in the booth, paper plates, cheap meals, chasing down proof, praying real quiet, hands on his face, fighting for the next meal. In another cold case, street talk, tip line, voices on mute, he dig through the dirt, searching for a root, true justice, distant, like it changed the address, but he still take notes, never half step. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, seeking the truth, pay the real cost, gotta find answers, gotta make time, busting these cases, walking that line. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, seeking he can answer just a few talk. True crime cafe, when they go to softball, say it with your chest, it's the truth talk. True talk.
They go by day, evil by night. They go by day, evil by night. Smiles for the cameras, hides from the light. Darkness in his eyes, riding his grin. Shakes every hand, wipes off the sin. Again, propaganda man, walking down the road with a pen in his hand, keeping him in office. You don't get my vote. Evil Santa Claus, beard full of deceit and smoke. Never shows the paper, never shows receipts. Here he comes again, propaganda man on repeat. Suits in the limo, cash in the case, every empty promise tattooed on his face, making sure the truth never leaves the room, leaves it in the dark, lets the rumors bloom. Evil is his life, that's the only plan. Leave it up to Bill, you'll never hear truth again. Billboards and slogans painted on the town, say his name enough till you start to bow. Here he comes again, propaganda man, marching down the road with the script in his hand, keeping him in office. You don't get my vote. Evil Santa Claus, bed full of deceit and smoke. Never shows a paper, never shows receipts. Here he comes again, propaganda man on repeat. Lego by day, evil by night. Smiles for the cameras, hides from the light. Darkness in his eyes, riding his grin. Shakes every hand, wipes off the sin. Keeping all his secrets stacked in a file. Corrupting the crowd, one polished lie at a time. Here he comes again, propaganda man, walking down the road with paper, never shows receipts. Here he comes again, propaganda man on repeat. Suits.
Dirty, dirty green. Yeah, you know what I mean. Smile so clean. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Hands so filthy, unseen. Big man on campus. Shark in a Letterman jacket. Laugh while the whole town drowns. He just skims off the habit. Lives in the shadows, fake sugar on his teeth. Tells tales at the conk out. Nobody buys what he speaks. Dirty, daddy green. Pocket fat from grief. Plays a Saint on Sunday. Wears the mask all week. Got the suits on the string. All the badges on a leash. Blink, once you miss it, he'll drag you to the brink. Dirty, daddy green. Proud of what he steals. Smiles in your face. Signs, crooked deals. Every hallway, every street. They're all in his pockets. Kissing his feet. He got MPD in his jacket. ISP on the chain. Every handshake, every favor. Bought and paid in your pain. By the Vita at the banquet. Posing like he runs the place. But the rock drips through when you look him in the face. Oh! Dirty, daddy green. Pockets fat from grief. Plays the Saint on Sunday. Wears the mask all week. Got the suits on a string. All the badges on a leash. Blink, watch you miss it. He'll drag you to the brink. Dirty, daddy green. Proud of what he steals. Smiles in your face. Signs, crooked deals. Every hallway, every street. They're all in his pockets. Kissing his feet. Watch him. Don't even blink. He'll have your world gone faster than you think. He laughs while you sink. Says it's all just business. As he pushes you to the brink. Dirty, 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 daddy. Dirty, daddy. Dirty, daddy. Pockets, 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 pockets. Dirty, daddy. Dirty, daddy. Pockets fat from grief. Plays a Saint on Sunday. Wears the mask all week. Got the suits on a string. All the badges on a leash. Blink, once you miss it, he'll drag you to the brink. Dirty, daddy. Proud of what he steals. Smiles in your face. Signs, crooked deals. Every hallway, every street. They're all in his pockets. Kissing his feet. Dirty, daddy green. Dirty, daddy green. Miss Ashley, little black book in her hand. Plain dress, cold eyes, got a whole town under her command. Crooked smile, she can twist any truth in the room. Writes rumors in cursive, lets them grow like mold in a tomb. Every handshake has a hidden price, every whisper cuts you like ice. I'm Miss Ashley, lying away through life, casting spells every day, every night. So corrupted, all the darkness inside, casting spells diminishing the light. I'm Miss Ashley, hum-dum, diddy-dum, dum-dum-dee-dum. Hey, I'm Miss Witch, so ugly inside, look what you become. Such injustice, truth is so far out of sight. I'm Miss Ashley, brewing spells of darkness and spite. She'll bless you, then bury your name in the dirt. Fake prayers, blank stare, and the grin when you hurt. Tied tongues, cause they're scared of a touch. She just laughs in the shadows like I never did much. Yeah, right. Every promise comes with poison threads. Every compliment lives under your bed. I'm Miss Ashley, lying her way through life, casting spells every day, every night. So corrupted, all the darkness inside, casting spells diminishing the light. I'm Miss Ashley, hum-dum, diddy-dum, dum-dum-dee-dum. Hey, I'm Miss Witch, so ugly inside, look what you become. Such injustice, truth is so far out of sight. I'm Miss Ashley, brewing spells of darkness and spite. All her charms run dry. No one left to believe her lie. I'm Miss Ashley, lying her way through
Miss Ashley.
Alrighty then, welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Sorry about yesterday. Mother Nature was mad at everybody, I guess, and it was Friday the 13th. So thank you guys for understanding and being there when you were. I do appreciate you all so very much. But today we'll pick it up there and on we go. The University of Idaho murders. We're going to be talking about Kaylee, Ethan, some Redditt stuff, so on and so forth, whatever else we get into. So thank you for joining me. Thank you to any moderators that are here. I do appreciate you very much for you being here, taking some time out of your weekend to help us out in the house here. It is so very much appreciated. So you guys know what comes next. Let's do that and move this thing right along if we can. Again, please make sure to hit that like button, share this out, and let everybody know what we be doing over here. Thank you very much. Let's do this.
Neon lights flicker like broken halos. Whispers gather in the smoke-filled air. Tables carved with secrets and shadows. Every story's a wound laid bare. The kettle's boiling with a restless rage. Justice written on an unseen page. I sip the silence, bitter taste, waiting for the ghosts to show their face. At the True Crime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betrayed. Mirrors cracked, reflections are liars. Ashes fall where the guilty once stood. The jukebox hums like a funeral choir. Echoes pounding through the neighborhood. Every scar is a candlelit vow. We hunt the how, we demand the now. No more silence, no more disguise. We'll paint the night with sharpened cry. At the True Crime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betrayed. This is not a sermon, it's a battlefield hymn, a requiem dripping from the bottle's rim. The guilty write stories in invisible ink, but we'll drag it all up from the edge of the brave. At the True Crime Cafe, the reckoning burns like a black bouquet.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the cafe, everybody. We are open for business. It is great to see you all. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. Happy Saturday to you all. And again, thank you all for understanding about the little mishap from yesterday. Mother Nature was pissed off, I'm guessing, or by bipolar or whatever you want to call it. But the wind here was insane. Um, it was crazy, and it took out 3 or 4 trees in my area, along with our power yesterday. It didn't come back till about 3 o'clock this morning. So here we are. So my apologies for that. Wonderful to have you all back as we jump back into conversating on the Idaho 4 case. Today we're talking about Ethan, Kaylee, some Reddit stuff, so on and so forth, whatever else we jump into. And whoever, of course, wants to join me to discuss these things, as always, there's a link pinned. You know you're welcome to do that. Thank you to my moderators for joining us. Thank you to my production manager, Mike, with the last 24, my videographer, Molly, and all of my amazing, absolutely amazing moderators for the Blue Crew. I would not exist nor be able to do this without any of them. And thank you to all of you beautiful people for being here, whom this channel would never exist without. So thank you guys so very much. Real quick, let's see who we got here, and we will get this show on the road. Beach Babe's in the house. Great to see you, Beach Babe. Moonlit Baby, welcome back to you. Sleutha75, great to see you today. Moonlit Baby, always a pleasure. Miss Jody Walters, wonderful to see you. It's been a minute. The sassy ones in the house. Miss Cassie, great to see you. Michelle Weddle, welcome back. Always a pleasure, dear. Thank you for joining us today. 111111. Good to see you, brother. Congratulations to Miss Cass on 32 months, 1 month shy of SRB, I guess. I guess they joined 1 month behind each other. Happy day anniversary to you, dear, and thank you for being such a huge part of this community, this family, and this amazing crew. By the way, Cassie's the one that does all the amazing and creative stuff in our merch store. Jump on over there and check it out if you will. You guys, there's plenty of stuff over there. She's so super talented. You won't be dissatisfied, I can promise you that. Defense Rest, Miss Jody's in the house, one of our Aussie friends from down under. Good to see you, Jody. Thank you for being here. As always, appreciated. Right. Tina Skullscar, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Randy Fur, my brother from another mother. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining me. Randy's going to be joining me. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Pretty much Finland. Great to see you. Fizzy's fizzing around in here as always. Miss Krista Marie Reality. Good to see you. Make sure we drop that link as well, mods, please. 11111111. And please drop the Defense Rest link as well, please and thank you. Mr. Mamikins, great to see you today. Always a pleasure, dear. Kathleen Bell, wonderful to have you here. Bariqua, great to see you. Welcome, KT. Good to see you. Miss Christina, welcome back for you today. I think we're going to be getting a new shirt in the merch store actually that says I think that's going to be the new one. That was Cassie's idea, so and I'm sure you all figure out where that comes from. The Canadian Cat Lady, great to see you today. Proburger and Proud, welcome back to you. Looks like we got 57 people in the house today. 32 likes. I guess we're catching that up. Come on in, guys. Right. I think I've gotten just about everybody here. Pa Norman, welcome to you, my friend. Good to see you. The Fizzness. Hopefully you're having a day off today. You deserve it. Okay, and again, that link is pinned at the top of the chat. Should anybody choose to join me, please feel free. And let's do this. All right, guys, come on in if you will. Grab a seat, get comfortable, fill up your cup. Miss Becca, great to see you today. Oh, it's over here. Derp. Come on in, everybody.
And let's do it.
Laundry. Hey, Beverly Fike, welcome back. Great to see you today. Good, you deserve a day off, business. The Fizzness. Well, that's great. That's good. Awesome. And I appreciate that. Get up, get up. Come on, get down with the business. I'm going to make a song called The Business. Oh my God. It was crazy yesterday. You better be careful because it was taking out trees and houses and sheds and barns. And that guy down the road had a 100-year-old barn that went down yesterday because of it. It was bad. I opened my front door, I ripped the door off the hinges. There we go. Randy Burr. How are you,
Hey,
brother?
good man. Just trying to make sure this mic is working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, that's
Can
good. Hi,
can you hear me?
hey, what?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. It doesn't sound as loud as it usually does. I think I'm having trouble with my headset, but we'll see. We'll try to
Make
make do.
sure.
How you been,
Okay.
boss?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. That is
Yes.
good. That is good. Welcome, Smiling Sleuth. Good to see you. Yes. Good to see you. It's been a while since you've been up here. Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. I
Absolutely.
thought I'd jump
Absolutely.
on.
Always appreciated. Always appreciated.
Well, you're my favorite. You know that.
I do appreciate that, sir. I do appreciate that. So you like that song I threw out there, huh?
Oh my God, yeah. That one was rocking. I don't think I've heard that one. I'm
Dirty.
sitting there, my dogs are looking at me. I'm sitting here, doing the old swinging my hair without the hair,
Yeah.
and just rocking
Yeah.
back. They're looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Wow, that Dirty Daddy Green one has got that one. I like that one myself. It's kind of catchy and it definitely has some depth to it. I love it.
Make me want to set up my drums. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I've
God.
thought about that too until my knees are like, yeah, go ahead and try. See what happens, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, my needs are that too, but I'd be willing to try. I'm just afraid my dogs have never heard me play live drums in the house. I've never had to because I always had my own studio and stuff.
Right,
So, and
right.
after COVID, everything got moved over here, of course, and the bands fell apart and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I've
the way it
I've
always
just never
works.
I've never reset them up, and I wanted to, but I just think the dogs will go nuts. I mean, when the mailman comes to the door and they're flipping out. What are
Yes.
they gonna do if I'm rocking out my 6-piece set and just going nuts,
Right, right, right. I'm working on getting as much as I would have never done it in the past. I'm just too old now. I'm working on getting a digital set, and playing off of that. That way I could play with headphones on. I don't disturb everybody and setting it up back here somewhere. And I
Yeah,
can move it when I want to. I need to get back to it. I missed it so much. Doing all this writing I've been doing and putting all these other songs together makes me miss it even more. So plus my
oh,
son, now that he's grown, he's been
right.
playing the hell out of his guitars and he's been singing and writing and it's pushing me back in that direction, you know.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
never never leaves your
no,
system. I
no,
can't, like that one you're talking about, that Dirty Daddy Green. When that starts playing, my legs start going nuts. Both of them, Randy. I can't sit
right,
still.
yeah, that's what I mean. Me too, and it's like, I got a bad knee, and I'm going like, well, at least I'm exercising it
Yeah,
because I got
right,
the
right.
double kick going and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. It hits hard. I was surprised that it came out the way I put it together. I was like, oh shit, that one came out pretty good. I like that. So,
Have you
and
ever
then
heard of Aereo sticks?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have.
I don't know
Um,
if I trust that,
I don't
just
either because they have to hit something for me to.
yeah.
I don't know. Somebody showed them to me a while back, and I'm like, I can't do it.
I don't think so either. I gotta hit a surface, you know,
That's
and
me. That's me. And I was thinking about struggling enough with an electronic kit. My buddy has one. I tried it out, but when we plugged it in to the soundboard, and it hits louder than a regular kit does. And I was like, well, I could probably do it. This, and you barely got to hit the skin on it. So I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yep,
if you got a good kit. Hey, Tandy, good to see you. Um, Hold on a minute, Randy. Let me see here.
yeah.
Karen Falquez, welcome to you. Wanted to draw. Okay, we got the defense rest. Thank you, Cass. Also, I wanted to draw Blue Eyed Butterfly. Great to see you. Amy Oleski, welcome back to you. Smiling Sleuth, Beverly Fike. Miss Tandy's in the house. Let me see here. Show. There was another link, Cassie. I can't think of who it was. Hold on a minute here. The defense rests, of course. Miss Jody's channel. There was one more. The pink hearts. I started throwing in here because we lost. Unfortunately, Cammy Harbaugh passed away, so that is why. Oh, Krista's channel, Cassie Reality with Krista Marie. Throw that one in here if you can, hon. Besides that, you're good. It's okay, no problem. Can see summer watching. Yeah. Thank you, Tandy. It's all good, Cass. Great stuff. Cynthia Rose, there you are. Good to see you. You like that? I knew Cassie liked that one when I first played it to them. It just hits. It's crazy. I don't know. And then of course the Amish Ashley and Propaganda Man, which is about Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings. Those are interesting too. Those are just fun songs, but I've been messing around with a lot of stuff. You guys better do PT stretches before you. Oh, Jesus, I know. I'll end up in the hospital if not. It's been too long. It's been way too long. Yeah, you're good, Krista. I think I haven't played live in front of anybody on a kit since probably 2015. So 11 years. It's been a minute. I've messed around with them here and there, but I've never actually played a whole set, you know? It's been a while. Oh, boy.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. I know. And the last time I did it, I was still in fairly good shape. My knees had just started to scream at me.
Right. That's
back then. So now,
that's what I remember. Yeah.
in my elbows,
just not as easy as it was, previous years.
See, then I was lucky. See, that's why you have 7 kids, Randy, because I had boys. I had 5 boys, and they would set up my stuff. We'd take off, go to this place we were going to play. They would bring everything in, set everything up. My youngest one, he still would help with that kind of stuff because he sets his own stuff up now. But yeah, it was helpful. I promise you that much.
We had one roadie, and he was assigned to me because it was my band. I'm like, all right, drums first, everything else waits.
Yep. Yeah, I can turn Randy up if you guys are having trouble hearing him. Hold on. Yeah, he's turned down pretty low anyway. Hold on a minute. There we go. Say something for me, Randy. Here we go.
Testing.
That's definitely better. Okay. Yeah, I definitely would need to be doing some stretching and stuff. I'm debating on getting a new dining room chairs or just recover the new ones we got. Well, you got a crafter there in the house with you. I would just cover those ones if they're still sturdy.
My dining room chairs had cloth on them.
Me too. Mine are hardwood.
That's right.
My wife was actually talking about putting some kind of like material with batting underneath it that's padded with those pins and pinning it down on it so it was padded in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
He does that stuff too. It might be a good idea. Ginger hey, good to see you.
Ginger hay.
Yeah, if I did start playing again, my buddy actually has had me. He's making a new album, and he had me being the drum engineer for it because he's doing a lot of the stuff on computer and stuff now.
Right.
And I told him, I'm like, I don't know what you're planning on doing. And this we played together years ago, and then we played like, let me think, like Slipknot and Slayer and that type of music. Okay.
Huh.
And I told him, I said, Jeff, I'm gonna tell you now. I don't know what you think you're going to be able to do because he's a guitar player and he does vocals. I said, but I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do. I said, there's no way in hell that you're going to get me in there to do 10 songs that in that style of music because that's what he wants to play. And I said, you can sit down and play and relax and do this and do that. And I said, I'm constantly moving. I said, you're out of your damn mind if you think I'm going to be back and play that. I said, can't you like change up the style and go back to some slower stuff or something. I said, we're old now. He was like, you can say you're old. I'm not old. I'm like, okay, bro. So I'll do one
Yeah.
song a month for you because it's going to take me a month to recover from playing one song like that. I'm just going to let you know that. He's like, it ain't that bad. I said, it is that bad. Anyway,
That's funny.
welcome, Meg, the megastar.
Megastar.
Yeah, I can't do that shit anymore. I'm too old for that. Way too old. I'd love to be
Gonna
able
make me
to.
do
'Cause I still love the music. I just can't play like that anymore.
Right. Yeah, I
Give
know.
me
I
a-
watch these. You watch these kids, 6, 7, 8 years old,
Mhm.
doing stuff like I couldn't do that when I was at the top of my game. It's like,
Yeah, I
and this
know.
kid's like, now
Uh-huh.
come on. But
Yeah.
you'll never, you always miss it. You always miss it. Music's
When
been my life for as long as I can
Yes.
remember.
Me too. Me too.
I think my first band, I was in 7th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. We were playing high school dances.
I started playing when I was 10, and I
Mhm.
don't think I played out the first time when I was 13 or 14. It was at a garage party.
Right.
But and then from there forward, I don't think the next place I played was in a bar when I was 17, 16.
Right.
And then it just went forward from there, so on and so forth. Yeah, I was 16 drinking in a bar because I was in the band. I got lucky that way, but
That's
that's about
right.
it. Plenty of those days in the past. When did what happen to us, Beach Babe? Read somewhere today that the 50s are the freshman year of being elderly. Uh-oh.
What's that
We're
supposed to mean?
I guess I'm elderly now.
Well, it
Aurora
makes me
Rain.
dead.
Yeah. You're still going. You're still going. It says new generation. They've requalified all of us as old people. And I'm like, look, my body might be old, and it definitely does feel old. I feel like I'm 85 years old, but that's because of the things I've done to myself. But mentally, I'm 25, period. So, pretty much. Kale, welcome. Aurora Rain, great to see ya. So much respect for Metallica. Still, yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. They're held up until I think just recently. Steven Tyler with Aerosmith was still like moving forward like he always did. I'm like, I don't know how you guys are doing this. Ozzy McGlynn, good to see you. No idea how these guys do this stuff. At some point, you just got to say, okay, I love it, but I can't do it anymore. Forget it. Guitar lessons are hard, Tandy. They're hard. I remember when I did it, it was hard, especially if this stuff here. No. This one back here, though, just picked it up automatically. Never took a lesson in his life. So, all right. Come on in, guys. 75 of you guys in here. It looks like we got 50 likes. That's awesome. Hit that like button, please, and thank you.
Did you take
Getting
lessons?
old. No, never once. I just played by ear. My dad was the same way.
Well, I was in the orchestra in high school and all that stuff, and I got a chance to play everything, from timpani to, bass drum,
Oh, yeah.
cymbals,
Yeah.
drums.
I didn't.
But
I
never a
played it.
kit. Never a
No.
kit. You had to self-teach yourself on a kit.
Yes.
There was
Yes.
a guy down here that was teaching, but
No, I think I took like one lesson, and it was
yeah.
like, do this and do that. And they were trying to make me play with my arms crossed over. I don't do that. I play goofy.
Oh, really?
I play open in the front like this with my hi-hat to the left. I just play open. I don't cross over unless I'm doing rolls or fills or something. That's it. But yeah, I've always played open.
You
I guess
You play hi-hat with your left hand and snare with your right.
Yep.
You don't play snare with your left hand. Really?
Never have. I can't do it.
Wow.
I've even moved my hi-hat to the right side of the kit and tried playing over that way.
Yeah.
I can, but I always do this shit and I bang my arms and I'm like, no.
Lower your snare drum.
I have. I put it down. I can play it that way if I want, but I like playing open like this.
Right.
I don't know why. I play that
Hey.
way and then I cross over. Whatever works.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yes.
I can't.
From school dropout. Hey, hey, hey.
I
Greg
don't think
McNeely, good to see you.
Oh my.
Daughters are having to deal with me. Mom worked at Wazoo, dealing with BS crazy peeps. Gotcha, Greg. Good to see you today, my friend. So today, guys, yes, we are going to be jumping into that. Mikey's in the house. Mr. Production Manager, good to see you, sir.
Mike.
So, guys, again, thank you, and my apologies for dropping out of the nowhere yesterday. My power just went dead. We had like 3 or 4 trees down here. This wind was like, I was kind of scared, to be honest with you. There's a 200-year-old pine tree across the street from me, and it was like bent in half. But yesterday with this wind, and I'm like, that tree comes down, we're done. This house is gone. So it
Yeah,
didn't.
we got a tornado warning yesterday. That's the first time ever we had one, and
Right.
it's saying Cumberland County, which is where we are.
You're in PA, right? I thought.
Yeah. And boy, I'll tell you, it was kind of scary because it comes up on the TV, and then it came up on our phones, and then both my wife and I are on our pads. Came up on our pad. We're like, well, this must be serious. And she was supposed to go to dance.
Right.
She had like 10 minutes. She's supposed to go, and they're saying, tornado warning till 6:30, and she's supposed to start at 6:30. I wouldn't let her go.
I don't
It
blame you.
it got ugly, but it nothing except really
Yeah.
heavy rain and thunder hit us. But boy, it was kind of
Right.
scary. But she
Yeah.
got the night off, so she was happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was too cold for tornadoes, but we had them, I think, southern Ohio. Eddie's in the house. Good to see you, one made Nut Turkey Creek gal. Welcome to you. Anna D, thank you for joining us today. So I'm going to jump into what I finished up, but I was going to look at yesterday and some other stuff we're going to go into today as well. Again, there is the link pinned if anybody wants to pop up here with us. You're more than welcome to. But yeah, it got pretty serious yesterday, which is why I dropped out. It just shut down. And I guess there were 4 or 5 lines taken out, which took them till about 3 o'clock this morning. Plus it was freezing and the wind was still blowing. So they were going up, putting these lines back up while the wind was blowing. So it was a bit of a mess. We didn't get no tornadoes, but it felt like it.
Close enough.
Pretty much. Let me see here. Trying to get this pulled up here. 1 minute. Where did it go? Where the hell is that? Give me 1 minute, guys. Oh yeah, the internet went out, which didn't matter because the power's out. It ain't gonna matter. I can't do either thing without. So, got to have the power to run the internet. So, where is that link at? And don't forget, while I'm pulling this up, guys, just to give you a little heads up again, don't forget the verdict room tonight, 6 p.m. With myself, typically unique Bronx Tales with Miss Logan and the last 24 with Mikey. We are going to be joined by Washington State Defense Attorney Kevin Curtis, breaking down the Idaho 4 case and WSU lawsuit. It should be very interesting. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm looking forward to that conversation for sure. Okay, I cannot find this link to save my life. 1 minute. Where did it go? One. I did miss it. That explains part of why that happened. Yesterday was Friday the 13th too, so. No, it's in here. Okay. We're also going to discuss Kaylee. We're also going to discuss Ethan, and review a couple videos that go along with that stuff. And I just cannot find this Reddit post or this Reddit link. You had a step in panel guest. Who joined you? SMC. What's up, Scully Skull? Good to see you. Oh, you guys replaced me? Good stuff. I've been replaced. All right. Logan's chat was off the rails. I wasn't there. Oh, you weren't? Oh, well, I bet that sucked. That's not cool.
Typically unique.
Miss Kim.
Typically.
Oh, there's Miss Kim. And that's Sluther. It was ridiculous, really. Wow. What was going on? That's wild. Huh. Jeez. Well, thank you, Moonlit. I appreciate that. All right. So I guess we'll just have to go and jump into this first. So we're going to review another. Someone stepped in for one. Okay. Thank you for putting down Miss Kim's link. Typically unique, if you will. Please make sure you guys subscribe to her channel if you have not. Well, thank you, Grace. I missed you guys too very much. All right. So we're going to review another harsh reality video. This is in regards to Ethan Chapin. And partly what we're going to be discussing on this as well. All right.
I don't think I've seen this one.
I saw a bit of it yesterday, which is what got me interested in it. Welcome, Megastar. Lim. All right, welcome, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button on the way through the door, if you will. Again, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat. If you'd like to join Randy and myself up here, please feel free. Plenty of room.
Come on up.
All right, here we go.
Feel comfortable with. You know, we've mentioned Ray, for instance, that will again.
Can you guys all hear that okay? I hope.
Come in that drip feed. Some of it you have to pay to get hold of. And it's a lot of it is hidden behind expensive paywalls. And so that's kind of the, shall we say, the official documentation side. Then you've got kind of the peripheral of it, which is seeing a lawsuit from Goncalves family et al. And they are going after WSU because they feel that they should be held accountable for what happened. Now, WSU are not taking that line down. They've taken on even more legal representation to fight the accusation. And look, where could that lead? Could it lead to further investigations into the initial investigation as they dig their heels in to try and prove that there was perhaps other things involved in this crime? Who knows? Some people have considered that perhaps this is a clever way of getting more information out, that perhaps the original, the original case brought out. Do you know what I mean? People think that there are things being hidden in that original, investigation and the subsequent court proceedings, etc. So is this a back door into obtaining more information? And there is other things as well. Obviously, there is the content creation side of things where people are still interested in discussing the Idaho 4 case and what they think happened. And in the absence of definitive proof of Bryan Kohberger's guilt, and look, I get it. I get that some people's mentality is that Bryan Kohberger pled guilty. And why would somebody plead guilty to a crime they didn't forget? We've done that to death. It happens. It happens. And what you've got to, before we move on to the point at hand, what you've got to understand is that whatever the defense team did, the prosecution and the judge just blocked it at every turn. And it wasn't even like it was blocked in a way that you can feel comfortable with. You know, we've mentioned Cy Ray, for instance. Cy Ray, someone who's been in his field for decades, comes forward, and where previously his information has been used to incarcerate people, this is the first time that his information could potentially be used to exonerate someone, and he's called a conspiracy theorist, which we know, you know, I know, that had Cy Ray have been on the team of the prosecution, I'm sure that Judge, you know, Hitler wouldn't have been calling him a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure he'd have been singing his praises and likely saying how his vast experience puts him in good stead to make a
Welcome, Optical. Good to see you. And holy shnikes. 1 second, folks. That's a lot there. It looks like Sluther just dropped 20 new memberships in the house. Good Lord, have mercy.
My. Thank you, Sluther.
Thank you so very much. And it
Good
looks
boy.
like 1-1 got one. Greg McNeely, Pinto Sack. Justice is coming for you. Tiffany 29. Irish Girl 1081. Suzanne Seidel. Sarah Montoya. Inspire Me. Alabama Mama. Lister 81. Killer Kiwi. Pugopolis. Where are we at here? Greedy Girl 18, Summer Thunder, Karma Latte, Purple Fire, Heather Lay, Little Devil 78, Naru 123, Sonia Finnegan 7854. Holy Nikes. I think that's everybody. Wow. Thank you so very much for that, Sluther. You're absolutely amazing and so very generous and sweet of you to do that. And welcome to the sauce, all you new awesome meatballs. Thank you for joining us, helping us to spill that sauce day after day. Welcome, Sausage Biscuit. Good to see you. Great to have you here. And thank you to anybody that chooses. What's that?
I was saying that's a nice Sluther. If I remember, she popped off 10 about 2 days ago.
Yeah, she's always being generous in here.
She's
always
the best.
Yes, very sweet, very generous. Thank you again to all of you guys. Yeah, we're gonna need to get a bigger pot for that one. That's awesome, for sure. Tandy said, "I need the cafe credit card to buy a bigger pot." Right. Welcome. Who else just dropped in here? Jerry and Kara for life jumped into the sauce with us. Congrats. Welcome to the sauce, Jerry and Kara. Appreciate that. And thank you guys to all of you that are generous in every way. People that donate to the channel, share memberships, all of it, guys. Anybody that donates, whether it's PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Super Sticker, Super Chat, whatever it is, God bless, guys. It's never expected, but we do truly appreciate that so very much. It helps to keep our channel going. So again, Sluther, thank you for that. That was amazing. It's so very sweet of you. Spreading the love, absolutely. But very much appreciated. Moonlit dropping. We got first one towards our goal today. Got goals, but can't find his poles. Hey. You're a poet, didn't know it. I love it. Thank you for that. Moonlit, number one on the goal. Right. Oh, like Kim said, breakfast is in the house. We got sausage biscuit. Good to see you. Great to have you guys. All of you, thank you again. Both of you so very much for being so generous and sweet. We appreciate that very much. All right, guys.
Sausage biscuit right now. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yes. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yep. All right. Back to what Mr. Harsh is saying, guys. Oh, Lord, Sluther.
A statement on the case. But that isn't the case, and instead he's now apparently a conspiracy theorist. But stick a pin in that, because I know there's more coming from that. But look, with respect of the case against Brian Kohberger, as more documentation has come out, we haven't seen definitive proof that it was Brian Kohberger. In fact, there are just more questions. But in this video, we look at the mechanics of the crime, because the mechanics of the crime itself, as more and more stuff comes out, it raises more questions. certainly around the integrity of the individuals that were on the peripheral of these victims. We've heard that people were called over to the house, and it would appear that there were people at the house for a long period of time before help was sought. Now, was that because they knew that help wasn't going to make any difference, but they needed to get their house in order, or was there something much more sinister going on? Now, the big question at this moment in time from those people who are willing to question the Brian Kohberger narrative is, in the absence of definitive proof that Brian Kohberger did the crime, then if he didn't, who did? And I've mentioned this before, and it falls into two camps. There is camp one that believes that this was narcotics related. Well, you could say three, I suppose. The narcotics situation, then we have the fraternity sorority situation, and then in the middle you have kind of a blend of the both. But I'm wondering whether the information that we've been given, the information that is available to the public, the documents that we've been shown, the stuff that we can refer that happened way back when, whether there are, in fact, indicators that you can't ignore anymore. There are things that shouldn't be ignored. And let's just dig into that for a second. And I just want to talk about the mechanics of the crime itself, because this is something that still isn't clear. And you would think that there would have to be clarity there. You would think that with scientific advancements, for instance, that they would be able to tell you the order with which these individuals lost their life. You would see a common thread of DNA being transferred from victim to victim to victim to victim, and that would give you some form of clarity. There was other people in the house at the time of the crime, so we've been told, and it's very, very difficult now, in the aftermath of seeing the release of the photographs, for instance, to consider that this crime happened silently. Now, we also have conflicting information coming from Dylan Mortensen, and I have to raise this for the purpose of this video because it kind of goes hand in hand with a video I did yesterday, which, again, it is a 4chan post, so you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But look, do we always take everything with a pinch of salt and just, consider that it has nothing to do with it and just believe the official narrative? That we know sometimes these official narratives are created to protect rich and powerful people. Case in point, the Epstein files. The Epstein files are now starting to be released and people are seeing them. But what seems to have been forgotten is that the Epstein files have existed for a long period of time. They're not new. They haven't only just been drawn up. We're talking about people who are powerful, who are entrusted with our trust. We look up to these people and we put our lives in their hands. But they knew the existence of these files. They knew what was in these files. They knew who was in these files. But yet they chose to hide them. They decided to bury them. And it wasn't until there was a tipping point that, lo and behold, they now have to release them. But who's asking the question as to who should be held accountable for hiding it from the public for the amount of time that they did? So we know that the rich and powerful are protected by the system. And look, with respect to the Idaho 4 case, we have a very powerful entity at the heart of it, and that is the University of Idaho, a university that contributes, what did we say the other day, around $4 billion to the economy. And a lot of that money that it gets in are from endorsements, from sponsorships, from, from various different things that they do. And a large proportion of that will likely be connected to the Greek fraternity and sorority systems. And we're going to take a look at that in a second as we maneuver our way through this. But so if you have let's first of all look at the narcotics angle and why people go down the route of this as potentially narcotics, and try to explain why, in my opinion, that theory falls flat on its face. Now, there are individuals around this case that have connections, albeit on the peripheral, with narcotics. But my argument would be we only know what is going on with these individuals because they were thrust into the limelight because of what happened to them. But you could bet your bollocks to a barn dance that this is probably a bigger problem. Trafficking in Idaho is a huge problem, massive problem. Narcotics is a massive problem. These individuals around this case aren't the only people that are very likely involved in it. Now, with respect of the mechanics of the crime, so what we're saying is what? That a gang who were upset with perhaps parents around.
Thank you so much, Jody. And yes, they are. Number 2 towards our goal. Very sweet and generous of you as well. Thank you. Very much. Appreciate you.
These students or the students themselves go into an off-campus home. They execute 4 individuals in the home, but they leave 2 individuals who were witnesses to this crime fine. They don't do anything to them. They leave them. They decide that these 2 individuals do not pose a threat. They'll never pose a threat. Any question that they'll obviously be put under, because you've literally got 4 people who've been butchered. So in theory, your mentality should be, right, let's consider this. Now, they're going to have to call law enforcement. Now, law enforcement are pretty much going to, you would expect these to be then prime suspects. And these are just, they're just young adults. Some people would say they're still kids at the age that they're at. So what pressure could be put on them from law enforcement? What leverage could be put on them? The position that they're in is a stony one. Do you know what I mean? If they don't have any other people involved, they don't know who did it. And you've got 2 individuals who were in the house at the time, they're fine. They can only give each other an alibi, which for some people it wasn't enough when they were cleared. We heard that from the Goncalves themselves. They felt that these individuals were cleared too soon. And these are people who likely had known about them. You know, they knew who they were. They'd listened to their family members likely talk about them. Do you know what I mean? There was a familiarity to some degree. So you're saying that these narcotics people, whether it be gangs or whatever, they just decided that there would be no risk in leaving them. No risk whatsoever. They're just absolutely fine. We'll just leave them alone, because I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. I don't believe that a gang who, we know what these gangs do. We know the brutality that comes from these narcotics gangs, just, chopping people up, and there's no honor amongst thieves. That is a well-known statement. That there is none. And I can't for the life of me ever see anyone involved in the narcotics world to the level that we're seeing this amount of brutality, like in the Idaho 4 case. That, yes, you could argue that perhaps the brutality matches what you'd expect from the narcotics world, but I don't expect survivors to be left. I don't expect.
That's what the biggest problem with this is, which has always made me lean towards Dylan being, how can I say this? Leaning towards the fact that Dylan had knowledge of things and or people, for lack of better terms. So I just have to say, it doesn't make any sense. None.
Beforehand?
Say again?
Beforehand, she had knowledge when it was happening?
I think she did. I think she did, Randy. I think I've struggled with, and this is why, okay? This is why her going and talking Kaylee into coming back to be her plus one to go to this dance that they never even went to. Okay, she drove clear to her aunt's house to get her. She didn't just call her, which is what most people would do. He went and got her. Okay, I can't let go of that. I can't let go of that. It's like somebody either told her, or said, "Hey, where's Kaylee? Why isn't Kaylee in the house? Where's she been? Well, she went home. Blah blah blah. Well, she needs to be here. For whatever, you need to get her back here somehow." And that's what I think happened. And truly, that's what I think happened. So that puts her in there, in my opinion, in that aspect. Then the fact that she wasn't touched or even looked at when this happened also adds her to that mix too. Okay. In my opinion. And to the point where she says it herself, Randy. She says, when she's asked by Vicky Gooch, why do you think they didn't bother you? Well, they may have known me. They may have been trying to protect me. What does that even mean? Okay.
Right.
Unless, who would do something like that when they're killing 4 people, they're protecting you or they know you. Okay. And as Christy said early on, she thinks that this is somebody that Kaylee knew. Other people said that they believe, Kara said she believes that it was somebody, which is Kara is Xana's mother, that it was somebody that they knew, that knew the house, that had been in the house before. There's too many times this has been said. So there in turn, that to me puts at least one, if not both of the survivors into that mix of being involved with the people that did this. Okay. In some form or fashion. Now, do I believe that Bethany was as involved as I believe Dylan was? No. And I don't know why. I just don't. But I feel like Dylan was definitely over involved in this. And I believe that it was because she was close to the people that did this. Okay. That's my reasoning to it.
Right.
Do I want to believe that?
Makes
of course
sense.
I mean, it has to, Randy. You know what I mean? With everything we've seen, there's no way in hell that this is true at all either, Sausage. Like Sausage says, I don't believe it was just a random coincidence that Dylan got in her car and physically drove to Kaylee's aunt's house to convince her to come home. There's no way in hell. No way in hell. I'm sorry. That is not a random coincidence. She could have picked anybody else to be her plus one to go to that dance with her. Now, here's another issue with this, too. Kaylee was no longer with this sorority. She was done. She quit.
Right.
So how is she going to go anyway? I don't think you can once you have been either ousted or you've quit a sorority. I don't think I don't think you can go to their activities. I may be wrong, but that's just my thought. Now, I want to clarify one thing. I struggle with believing that Dylan hands-on did something, but she could have. I struggle with that. But I definitely believe that she had the knowledge and the know of what was going on at this point of the whole thing. And I believe she heard it all and knew it all and very likely may have even watched it go down. Okay. I do struggle with her actually physically doing anything during this, but it bothers me. So, and that's just a fact in my mind that Dylan was fully involved in this, at least in knowledge aspect. Okay. So she was in a different sorority. It's still, I thought once you quit a sorority, I didn't think you were allowed to entertain any of their activities. I could be completely wrong. I probably am.
I wouldn't think so. And I have to say one thing, behoove it for me to say, she looks the part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And then this is another thing too, guys, that I learned not too long ago. And this came out of Dylan's mouth, that they tried to get Maddie to convince Kaylee to stay for another semester. Dylan's word. Not to mention in Bethany's interview, Bethany says, I think she changed her mind about going to Texas. I think she was going to stay. And they said, why? She said, because she wanted to stay with us. How much sense does that make? You have a job waiting in another state and you're just going to stay to hang out with your friends after you graduate? What's she going to do there, guys? She was going to be graduating the week after. It makes no sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry if I cut you off, Randy. Were you saying something?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
No, I was listening to you.
Good to see you, Chris. Chris believes Dylan and Bethany both were involved hands-on. I see. I think Bethany knows, which is why Bethany ran and stayed away. I think she knows, but I think she was forced out of fear into doing what she had to do. Angela Head, welcome. And again,
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's just the way she seems to act, but she could just be a good actress, guys. Okay, you know. Thank you, Kim. I'm just saying. Who knows?
There's a reason she's in hiding, though.
Uh-huh.
There's got to be a reason.
I think it's fear, Randy. I think she was threatened that if you open your mouth, you say a word, you testify, you show up, you will no longer exist. And that's what I think happened to her.
Well,
and I think that
come
Dylan had
from
more.
somebody who might have killed 4 people. Yeah, I guess
Right,
I should
right.
too.
That's exactly my point. And I think that Dylan was maybe the link between her and the people that did this, and may have protected her and said, hey, let her be, I'm friends with her, whatever it was, just let her go, so on and so forth. She's going to help this, that, or anything else. And she'll be quiet, I promise. And she has been. She has been quiet and disappeared into the world where nobody sees her. She moved out of state. She went to a completely different area and has not come back for anything. She wouldn't even come back for the sentencing hearing, folks. She had somebody else read it for her. That says a lot to me. So, I have issues with that.
Yeah, I have big issues with that too.
Right. And Sausage says, I wouldn't be surprised if Dylan didn't intercept Kaylee at Dylan's bedroom door when she ran down the stairs and struck. It could be. It very well could be, Sausage. 100%. Okay. Giddy up. Welcome. Do you think Dylan or Bethany's parents know or have been involved? I think they may know some of it. Okay. But again, don't forget, Dylan's stepmother's her attorney. And I still believe, and I will never take what she said as an actual truthful statement. When Bethany makes the statement and calls her mom, her dad, her house, her dad, she's calling everybody over there because she has a toothache and wants to know what to do. Understand something, you guys. Bethany's father's a dentist and was always a dentist since Bethany grew up with her father being a dentist. So why at 19 or 20 years old do you need to call your father, who's been a dentist your entire life, and say, Dad, my tooth hurts, what do I do? No. That's like my dad was being a garbage man my whole life, and me calling him and saying, hey, I got this bag of garbage, Dad, what do I do with it? Come on, guys, come on. That is so dumb, but okay. Mind you, what do we start calling her? Toothany turkey leg, because she wanted to go home. She made sure, she's so worried about these people. These are her best friends. But she wanted to go home as soon as she could. Come on, guys. Again, no. And Dylan, this is why, and I like I said, I could be wrong. Bethany could be the one, for all we know, and Dylan was the one that didn't know. Dylan didn't want to talk to Blaker, for whatever reason, and so on and so forth. This could be flip-flopped around for all we know. Bethany could be a hell of an actress and very smart and knew how to play this just the right way to make it look a certain type of way. Or, my thought was that Dylan was the one that was put in the position she was by people that she's close to, whether it be her father, her boyfriend, somebody else, whatever. Hence the reason why she was protected. Hence the reason why she went and lured Kaylee, because I think she was given a directive to follow, and she did. Okay. So I'm just saying, these are my thoughts on this. But there again, as he's about to get into with the whole thing about Ethan, it's interesting to think about, and then we'll elaborate more from there at that point as well. But again, thank you guys for being here for the conversation. It really, really means a lot. Bethany's actions tell you far more than her words, and the fact that she won't come back tells you that that place is not right. And she knows that whoever it is, in my opinion,
Is still out there.
is still in that area because that's why she won't come back. Okay. That's my opinion, of course. Welcome, Kawanda. Wonderful to see you today. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, she is complicit because I agree with Katie, because here's all you have to do. You have to you go to people and you say, look, this is what happened. And remember, Bethany was the one that had the exculpatory evidence that we never got from her, too.
Right.
So there's that still. But here's what you have to do. You have to go to law enforcement, unless maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe she doesn't trust law enforcement either. And there's got to be a reason for that. But again, we'll wait on that for right now. But you go to them and say, hey, I was there. This is what happened. This is who did it. But they also told me that if I say a word, I'm going to go next. Please protect me. Here's the truth. Do something with me. But I can't sit on this anymore. This is killing me. Here's the truth. That's what she should do.
Who's to say she hasn't done that, though?
Well, that's the thing, too. And if she did, because we don't know, they're not going to tell us.
No, of course
because
not.
they themselves are hiding and protecting something. But it makes you wonder if that's the reason why Bethany hasn't come back around. Maybe she did go to somebody and tell the truth and they shut her down. Or they're, who knows? But, if I was the defense, I would have went to her immediately. And again, we don't know that they didn't. And they just didn't allow for it to be put out there. So.
Well, Dago, I think the bottom line is there's some sort of sketchy story going on somewhere between those two girls, not between them, but
surrounding them.
One way or the other, one of these two girls has got to be somehow involved.
Absolutely.
Or knows something. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I absolutely believe they do, Randy. Absolutely. Because, like Sausage just said, there's no reason that Bethany should not feel safe, or any of them for that matter. If Brian is the killer,
right?
Brian's locked up. Brian's convicted. This is over. You should have no reason to feel unsafe at this point whatsoever. Or you should be terrified because he's not, and he's not, and you know who is. And those people threatened you and told you if you open your mouth, you will cease to exist. And that's my feeling on this. Moonlit says if one of the victims were a CI, I wouldn't feel protected either. I agree. Maybe, Jerry. That's something we've talked about before, and I have no doubts from the things I've seen.
Yeah.
That's another question too. How long, Giddy Up, will they have this fear? Or will she have this fear? I don't feel like Dylan doesn't come off to me as though she fears something, which makes me even more suspicious. But Bethany definitely does. So.
Yeah, you don't see pictures of Bethany out partying and stuff.
Nope.
Having a good time with the girls.
Mm-mm. She stays as far out of the range of the media as she can. And off of social media, because I've scanned it for her. I don't see her anywhere. So, nope. No idea, guys. No idea. Moonlit 17, right. It's not like they can come after and say, oh, it's okay, we'll protect you. They just let 4 kids die, so there is no protection and there's no safety. Bethany knows. And see, that's my thing. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if those are the same people that failed to protect one of the CIs in the house, then Bethany knows she's not safe to tell anybody. There is no protection. Yeah, agreed. That's a huge point. That's kind of where I was going. So, all right, I will shut up now, and on we go.
Survivors who pose that much of a risk. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. And as we refer back to what I spoke about in the video yesterday, and this is about the Greek sororities and fraternities, there's a different situation here. We have Freemasonry across the world. Freemasonry is like the adult version, if you like, of the Greek sororities and fraternities. These are like channels that lead into these things. Do you know what I mean? And these are situations where people enter in, become members of these secret societies with secret handshakes and codes, and codes of silence and omerta, what we've heard people doing videos about. And some people might think that that's a joke, but for some people it isn't a joke. It absolutely is not a joke. And the power that these entities wield is way beyond what I think a lot of people are giving credit for. I genuinely do. And I a lot of the time I'll refer to the Madeleine McCann case as a reference point, because I think that the Madeleine McCann case, even though it's a different type of case, it shows you how people who are at the heart of it, like a little girl goes missing. She ultimately, best case scenario, goes missing because of the neglect of the parents. The neglectful parents go out with a load of their friends, and while they're out, they leave their child and children actually on their own. They do not get help. They do not get babysitting services, even though they are available to them. And these are two doctors, so they've got the funds to do it. It's not too expensive for them, but they choose to do what they did. And ultimately, you then have the demise of their child, Madeleine McCann. Now, the investigation would lead anyone to believe that there's more to this. But very, very quickly, wheels started in motion that got the parents out of that situation. A situation that had me and my partner, and likely you or your partner, your family, involved in exactly the same thing. It would have had an incredibly different outcome. Do not make no bones about it. Do not think that I'm talking out of my ass. I'm telling you now, this situation, had that have been me and Mrs. Harsh, it wouldn't have gone that way. But in this situation, we have a situation where all these wheels start in motion and they get taken out of the equation. Law enforcement, someone Amaral with a history of being brilliant, is destroyed. But you have the Tapper 7 in the background who was with these individuals on this night, and no one's spoken. No one said a word. No, and it's not even that they've said something. They've said nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you think to yourself, this is the power of, in my opinion, Freemasonry, connections, what you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know, should you say. And there can be a mixture of two. It can be a case of what you know. If that can affect the wrong people, then it gives you leverage against them. And when you're talking about these sororities and fraternities, I believe that they yield as much power. And when you put that kind of power into young adults, it can actually be worse. It can be worse. And what evidence do we have of that? Well, we have hazing deaths for a start. We have countless deaths across America that have probably likely never hit the news, that we'll never ever know.
That's absolutely the point right there, too. I think it says a whole hell of a lot that there is social media evidence that Dylan has gone on and is acclimated back to her life, partying, etc., etc. And Bethany remains reclusive and hiding. That's true. Not to mention, let me throw that out, something else out there, that there was a GoFundMe started for Dylan by her aunt, I think it was. And it was to be able to get Dylan to start her life over. It started making a lot of money and then was frozen and paused. For some reason, it was paused. Nobody said a word about it. Nobody knows why, but it's interesting at the very least and makes me wonder. And I'm going to tell you guys as well, listening to the Dylan Mortensen interviews, I've said this before, and I've had other people agree with me. By the way, again, if you didn't hear me, welcome, Crud Dog. Good to see you. Juror 13 as well. I think Vicky Gooch knew. I think she had Dylan's number when she was interviewing her. I think she knew something was not right. And then that was the last time we saw or heard Vicky Gooch. There's no follow-up. There's no this. There's no that. I think they pulled her away from this because she knew and may have mentioned something. Okay. And this is, again, fully and wholeheartedly just my opinion, but it just makes me wonder, okay? Because if we can catch on to things in the interview with Dylan, I'm sure as hell gonna believe that somebody as seasoned as Vicky Gooch can. Okay, because I'm not a police officer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a judge, I'm not, and neither is Randy. But we've all
That-
questioned these things, right or
Right.
wrong. Okay, right. So, which he was. Good to see you. 1-1 says it's bullcrap. Dylan was considered a victim by the court. So she was able to get all medical relocation victim. Right, exactly. She's not a victim. She should have never been. Neither one of them should have ever been considered victims. They should have been suspects, in my opinion, from the very fucking beginning, folks. The very beginning, they should have been suspects, and they were never treated that way. Hence, we were where we sit today. That's my problem with it. It irritates the hell out of me. Great to see you, Witchy. I learned that silent movies were effective for a reason because behavior tells you a lot, especially when people are using words to tell lies and confuse. Bethany's behavior speaks volumes. It sure as hell does.
It does.
Volumes. Turn that one all the way up to 11. I'll just put it that way as far as volume goes. Okay. And that's true too. Willie and I said that 3 years ago. If it was us, if it was guys, men that were there, they'd have been arrested there and put in jail immediately. Unless, of course, they were told not to, because somebody that has more of an influence said, you don't touch that one. Now, let's also not forget, in the text messages that were between Steve Goncalves and Brad Norton, there's a conversation, and I can't let this go either. It all leads into this, in my opinion, where Brad says that Dylan was a liar. Steve says she absolutely is. This was in the beginning, okay? But she's protected by her stepmother's law firm. And then he says that they were threatened legally by Dylan Mortenson's family as well as Jack Showalter's family, telling them you basically need to look another direction or there's going to be consequences. So, and in the beginning, we know that they were uncomfortable with people being cleared too soon.
Right.
Obviously, they were looking at them, and then all of a sudden, he supports them, guys. Come on. Once again, this is written in black and white in front of us, folks. He said he went as far. Go ahead, Randy.
I would say there's a flip flop that doesn't make sense at all.
No, not even remotely close. So if the family of a victim has been threatened to shut your mouth, don't look over here, do not look over here, you need to go look over there, or there's going to be consequences, sir. Then you know what? Once again, guys, it's just one more stamp on that notice that tells me there's something wrong here. When you're looking at the people, a survivor of a crime, and you're wondering why, how did this happen? How did you get away? And that person's family saying, buddy, you need to go look over there, not over here. Okay.
Yeah.
And at one point, Steve said, when he was asked by Brian Enton, are you comfortable with the thought of there being other people involved? And he said, absolutely. But Christy said, no, not at all.
Right.
Makes you wonder. Was that after the threat or before the threat? And then all of a sudden now, Dylan and Bethany are to be their victims. They need to be supported and taken care of, but not before. This is wrong in so many ways. And is that why we were being told to stop looking at the documents? Because we're going to find something that could maybe threaten them? Or is it because it's going to ruin their lawsuit? There's a couple different reasons this could happen, guys. Just saying. It's all disgusting. And that is a true fact. But you got to wonder, though. It does make me wonder. Is it because of the threats? There were other threats that were being made to them as well while they were sitting in the courtroom, and they showed them to Brian Enton. They were real threats. They were disgusting. Okay, this is the family of a victim, and now they have to be threatened as well. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not sitting here saying that the Goncalves are angels in this, because they have their own issues. But it also sometimes makes you wonder why. I really would like to understand these threats. So that's all I'm saying. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. No, and we won't. That is absolutely correct. One. On we go.
Know about. We've had attacks that, again, have probably never ever been known about. We've spoken about two over the last few months, weeks. Timmy Reed, that only got into the news because the family decided to go further with it, but
I agree,
subsequently that's disappeared off the radar. The one with the DoorDash driver that I covered a couple of weeks ago, he literally was nearly beaten to death. He's left with severe brain injuries. He literally dies, and they have to bring him back to life because he's kicked and stamped on the floor by fraternity members. But yet, no one's going to be held accountable. Nobody. Timmy Reed. If Timmy Reed had been stamped on and died that night, who would have been held accountable? What would have happened? And they're just the ones that we know about because they just happen to sneak under the radar and get into the public domain. But when you can just Google it and look at this. So if we look at here, look, American fraternities and sororities, Greek life, historically operate on secrets, including private rituals, handshakes, and in harmful cases, the silence surrounding hazing. This culture of secrecy can protect dangerous practices such as severe forced hazing, sexual assault, and underage drinking, often used to create a false sense of loyalty. Initiation rituals, secret initiation ceremonies, and rituals are central to the identity of these organizations, fostering a sense of belonging and secrecy. Lineups and abuse. Hazing often involves secret lineups where pledges are subjected to humiliating tasks, physical abuse, and sleep deprivation, and forcing them to drink large amounts of alcohol. Silence as loyalty. The tradition of not speaking about what happens inside the fraternity sorority house, often referred to as doing it for the brotherhood, sisterhood, is used to conceal hazing and dangerous activities. The secrecy has been linked to severe injury and fatalities on college campuses, creating a dark side to traditional Greek life, as highlighted in A&E's House of Horror series and reports on hazing. Perpetuating power dynamic. This culture is often used to ensure pledges follow strict rules for older members, including cleaning, providing food, and completing, or as the term suggests, serving in a way that creates subservient relationships. And if we look at the Idaho 4, for instance, so you've got the Idaho 4, all of them were sorority and fraternity members, and you've got Pi Beta Phi with Madison Mogen, and you've got Alpha Phi here, and then you've got Sigma Chi with Ethan. And when you look at the sororities, of 10 sororities recognized by the University of Idaho, Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi are the only two listed as on probation for health and safety reasons, which refer to violations or concerns regarding risk management, alcohol, drugs, or hazing. In addition to being on probation with the university, Alpha Phi is or Alpha Pi, whatever you call it, is also on a restorative plan with the national organization. Pi Beta Phi is in good standing with the sorority's headquarters. The University of Idaho chapters and national organizations for Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi did not immediately respond to questions on Wednesday. The University of Idaho also did not immediately respond to request for comment. So if you've looked at the title of this video and you've seen the thumbnail, we speak about, we show Ethan Chapin. Now, when you talk about the mechanics of this crime not making sense, like I did at the beginning, I believe that Ethan Chapin was potentially the target here, because I think that situation makes more sense. And I believe that the fact that you've got a situation where we're being told, or seemingly it's being suggested, they don't really know how it went down. They don't know. They can't tell you the order. They can speculate. So bearing in mind that Brian Koberg got asked to go into a plea deal.
And remember one thing, folks, before that, way back, welcome Angie B. Good to see you, dear. Way back, we were told, if I remember correctly, I can't remember how and where, but we were, told that Maddie Mogen was the target at one point. They did say it was targeted. Okay. And then all of a sudden that changed to the house was the target and it was random. What the fuck? Are you serious? The house, it was a random job, which I know, I'm telling you right now, this was not random. This was premeditated to some aspect. And it was the house. No. Nope. Nope. No. I will not accept that. I'm sorry, but no. Somebody in that house was the target. Was it because they were a CI? Was it because they pissed somebody off? Was it because somebody was jealous of them? Was it because they broke up with their boyfriend and they were sleeping around with other people and that guy didn't like it? What was it, guys? It could have been any one of those things, but it wasn't the fucking house. In my opinion, it was not because of the house. And I think that is a lame ass reason to give, because you're a pathetic ass excuse for a prosecutor and you couldn't find the answer to it, or you know the answer and it was going to cause you more problems than it would anybody else. Absolute bullshit. I'm sorry. And that makes me so mad you have no idea. Now, I'm not disagreeing with Harsh with what he's saying about Ethan. You know, everybody has their thoughts, but it definitely was not the fucking house that was the target here. And that's Bill Thompson's answer at the end of this after he got his plea deal, because that's what he does. That's what he could come up with. It was the house. And it was, I think it may have been at random, and Brian just decided to do it that night. Shut up and sit down somewhere. Come on.
Jesus.
How stupid do you think people are? It's unrelentingly bullshit, and it's absolute ridiculousness. Just trust me. Trust the process. Go somewhere. Sorry. I'm sorry. This just irritates me to no end, you guys. Welcome, Lucy. Lucy likes it when I get upset. Especially when I start dropping F-bombs.
Well, you speak your mind. That's why I like listening to you.
Well, and I do. And I have a passion. You know why, folks? Because this could have happened to any fucking buddy in here. Thank God it didn't. And I hope to God it never does. But it could. And it absolutely could have. Okay? And it's sickening and sad. These kids had everything in front of their entire life. They just started to live. And it was taken away. And then this other person here that they could never show any absolute proof to commit this crime is sitting here wasting away in prison for nothing. He's probably one of the smartest people we would ever meet that could be an asset to the world. And it's being wasted because they needed a fall guy, in my opinion. Sorry. No, it's not acceptable. Sorry. On we go again.
Now, they offer no leverage or use no leverage that they have on him at that point to ask any questions whatsoever. Not anything. They literally ask him nothing and give a piss poor excuse for doing so. Even when they're challenged by CBS, as I showed recently, they still don't offer anything. They still don't do anything. It is literally, yeah, we've done a plea deal and the rest is history. No point in asking anything, and they'd have just lied. What the fuck is that all about? So you then are left with, well, we'll just speculate. But this was marketed to people in a way that would lead you to believe that Madison Mogen was the target. They went into the house, they go to Madison Mogen, and why did they pick Madison Mogen? You could argue, and I don't say this because this is what I find, I just feel that this is just the way society is, that Madison Mogen is probably the most appealing aesthetically to the broader audience, and it makes it more shocking. Madison Mogen, she is the target.
And I'm going to tell you why I think they chose Maddie to be the target. Okay, this is just my opinion again, of course, because I think truly it was the most believable scenario then, because I think it was believed that Maddie was passed out at some point. Maddie passed out because she was pretty bad off that night, and that it would be believable that she was killed in her sleep, because that's their whole narrative. But she's the only one. And according to them, as this person or these persons were attacking Xana, this still blows my mind. Gilbertson said this, and he's a fucking idiot for saying this, that this person was, and they want us to believe it's one person, was one-handedly attacking and killing Xana while reaching over and leaning in and killing Ethan at the same time. What the actual hell are you talking about, bro?
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Watch.
Right. Yeah. Jean-Claude fucking Van Damme is who did this, okay? That's who did this, guys. That's who did this. It's all absolute bullshit. Well, we know he was surveilling something. He was surveilling. Yeah, he was. You can't fucking stalk people driving 45 miles an hour in a car, folks. And that's all he was doing. Anytime they pinged him somewhere, was driving by to go to Moscow, to go shopping, to go do this, to go do that, because there wasn't shit in Pullman. The man never touched the Wi-Fi. He registered on the tower because he drove by just like 3 million other people did, but they didn't pinpoint them. Okay. You don't, yeah. And every one of these victims had some form of a somewhat defensive wound. Okay. So think about that. They claimed that Ethan was sleeping. They claimed that Maddie was sleeping. And I do believe it's possible Maddie could have been asleep because she had the least of the damage done. But there's that. I don't think anybody else was, including Dylan and Bethany, because that's an absolute bullshit. We know that. So,
yeah,
it's hard to keep my mouth shut with this. I'm sorry. Sure, 13, good to see you. Yeah, he's a vegan. He's a vegan. He couldn't even fillet a fucking fish, you guys.
Stop.
He couldn't even do that, but he can murder 4 people. His sister, over Christmas, cut her finger on some tinfoil, and he flipped out over that, but he could kill 4 people.
But he used to box.
No, he didn't. That was a joke. What a joke. Hey, he has dyspraxia. He can barely use his hands the way you're supposed to, let alone kill 4 people. Okay. Visual snow. He's autistic, dyspraxia. All of those things, but he killed 4 people. Okay. Yeah. And I'm a fucking supermodel too. Have you guys seen my stuff? Check it out.
Please no.
Like I said, welcome, Living Dead Girl. Good to see you.
Oh my.
Yeah, I saw that. That's disgusting as far as I'm set up, Lucy. That whole thing where Steve went at Pav because he put out an opinion and he called Pav a cult leader. That's really sad. Come on.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Cult leader? Okay.
Yeah, and everybody that believes him's in his cult. That's going too far. I'm sorry. You may disagree with Pav, that's okay. And you're allowed to have your own opinions, but to come at him and call him a cult leader, get the fuck out of here with that.
It's
if anything,
calling Cy Ray whatever.
A conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah. I mean,
if
come on.
You really want these people to shut up bad, don't you? Why? Because you're afraid that somewhere, somehow,
somebody's gonna
one of us is going to find the fucking truth. That's why. God. Did you see it, Cat Lady? Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Good Lord.
Gosh. You're making my...
Kaylee Goncalves happens to be there, so she's collateral damage. They rouse other people inside the house who are further away than what other individuals are, who doesn't consider anything that bad's happening, clearly, but that's by the by. And then you have a situation where Xana catches them, they chase Xana to the room, and she gets into a massive fight while Ethan is literally next to her and seemingly doesn't do anything, which that makes no sense. But when you factor in what I covered yesterday with this sorority and fraternity houses and suggesting that they had a bottle from the crime scene that still had Ethan's blood on it.
Thank you, Salute, there for the super chat. Number 3 or 4 on our goal, I believe, says, I was done with sympathy for Steve. when he called us all trailer trash. I know. I agree. I do agree.
With Ethan's last haze, and there seems to be a conversation. Now, again, I'll say, yeah, let's take this with a pinch of salt, but you've got to kind of consider what you know. We know that there was a fight that night. We know that
Thank you, Blue Eyed. I appreciate that.
there was an argument. We know that there was an argument and fight that was around Xana and Ethan. That's what we've been told. You've got stories that are contradictory around Xana and Ethan. What, that they go home around 12, they get food and they have pizza and they eat, but then not long after that, they order more food, which is weird. It's weird. And you also have another situation, and that is that you've got...
And that's another issue. I want to bring that up, and I want to ask what you think. We all were told, and I know it was verified, and it was re-verified when Kim was here the other night, again, okay, that there was a fight at the frat house, okay? Xana Kernodle verified that her daughter, Jasmine, told her this. Their father was in town, Jeff, and I'm going to bear with me as I go through this, and I'll explain why I'm saying this, okay? He spoke to them because somebody had messaged Jasmine and said, hey, Ethan and your sister are fighting. There's a fight going on between him and blah, blah, blah. Okay, welcome Amanda Bambi. So Jeff calls her. Hey, is everything okay? Yeah, Dad, I'm home. Me and Ethan are home. We're eating pizza, watching TV or movies or something like that. 12:30 that night. Jeff makes a statement about this at the sentencing hearing. When Jeff goes on, I don't know, him and Jasmine were both on. I can't remember which one of the damn shows it was. One of the propaganda shows that they put out. It was one of them. And makes the statement again. Kara, Xana's mom, verified it with us quite a while ago. And then all of a sudden, somebody says Jeff changed his story. And said it was the night before. I must have made a mistake. Does anybody else in here have a problem with that? Anyone? That all of a sudden, conveniently, a parent is changing their story and saying, I must have made a mistake. And then Kim said that they were all out that weekend because it was parents' weekend at Wazoo, which is why Jeff was there. And that she knows that they were out because she saw them on Saturday night. Why did you change your story, Jeff? All due respect. Understand. All due respect. But why? Who told you to change your story, Jeff? Because it didn't match the fucking narrative. Because that's what it came back to me now. That's what I'm seeing now, and I have a huge problem with that. Honest and true. 1 minute, folks. Randy, hold the floor for me real quick. This is important.
All right, somebody help me grab this back left corner. We're going to hold this floor up. No, Dago's got a lot of smart stuff going on here. I'm interested to see where Harsh is going with this Ethan situation that we're listening to, because I did not see this one, and I do tend to watch Harsh quite often. There's somebody I follow, and Dago got Chinese food. Jeff was drunk, Juror 13 is saying. At which point was Jeff drunk? Or are you just saying that? Chicken and broccoli. So, yeah, we all know when Dago's phone rings, it's usually his wife or somebody in the family. It's important that he takes it. And I wasn't ready to be put in charge. So without somebody else up here to help save me, I'm usually much better at this. This afternoon is kind of just a mellow day for me. I hope everybody is doing well. Just here with the 4 dogs, waiting for the wife to get home, who I'm surprised is not here yet. If you hear the dogs starting to bark, I'm going to have to mute because it gets pretty loud when she gets home. Both nights he was in Wazoo, Juror 13 says. Okay. Okay, one's going to come up in a few. All right. Dig will have to handle that one, of course, one, you know that. I'm sure he'll be back shortly. Okay, Lucy says, I'm just saying it's weird that the G family, that Facebook post, and on both sides of the post, Kim returns, and the gaggle of guilters come into multiple chats. Troll and distract. Yes. But also others appear they haven't been around for months. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Hey, Randy, good to see you. I missed that. Who was that? Oh, my. Oh, Canadian cat lady. Hi. Hi. Haven't talked to you for a while. I haven't been up on panel for a while, that's for sure. I've just been kind of listening the last, I don't know, couple months. Still going through my, you know, my thoughts of other people. Still hanging on to this case, which is crazy. Which is why I love Dago. Dago, I don't think, is ever going to quit this case. I think he's the man that's going to break it. I think Harsh, the other side of the planet's over there. He knows as much what's going on with this case as does anybody. So, must have been an important phone call, Dago. Thanks, Pro Burger and Proud. Here he comes. Oh, there's one. He's up. Are you on there, boss?
I'm here.
Oh, man. How are you tonight? Nice to see you. Or this afternoon. My God, I went to bed at 4:30. I don't know how many people were watching last night. I think I saw you somewhere last night.
Yeah, I was on
Oh,
Crimes
God.
After Dark.
Crimes After Dark, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my. I don't know. Found myself up at 4:30. I have a cot in my office here, so I just sprawled out in the cot at about 4:30. Woke up at 9. Got some coffee in me, and just trying to survive on like whatever, about 4 hours of sleep. Yeah. This case, jeez. You got some good stuff going.
Don't worry. We got stuff coming soon. People just need to be patient.
All right. Sorry.
There he is.
That was the wife. She was having an issue. I'm sorry, everybody.
How's the Chinese food?
I don't know. I wish I was eating some right now. It's my favorite. Sarah Inc. Labs, welcome. Well, this is another thing too. Why have we not seen an interview, a report, anything involving this man's name after everything that was stated? David Loach just kind of fell off the face of the earth, and nobody interviewed him.
Well,
nobody wrote reports on him. How?
They didn't do crap on him, and he clearly. I mean, the info we have, there's enough info out there. He had some kind of skirmish, whatever, interaction, fight, something with Ethan. Something happened. Does that mean? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No. And that's what I'm saying. I want to ask that question. How many interviews have we gone over on this channel, folks, and other channels as well? We've all creators have gone over all these interviews, right? All of them. In every one of them, the one thing that law enforcement does do right is they say, do you remember anything weird happening that night? Do you remember anything strange going on that night? Was there anything that you can remember that went down that night? And every single person says, nope, not one thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think, you guys, that a fight between people the night that 4 people are murdered is a thing that you would say was weird and
Yeah.
should have been talked about?
But I want to say shit because it was a fraternity sorority party. They're not gonna say anything. And the thing is, gets like complicated with it, and it's an avenue. So as a detective or whatever, investigative journalist, private eye, whatever term you want to use,
Right.
you need to look at all possible suspects, all avenues, and then you start to weight them. You don't just, this like classic example. Was this just done because they're trying to, they're hiding shit because it's a CI and they don't want everyone knowing that they fucked up an investigation and this happened right under their eye. I don't know. Like, there's a good chance that I do. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, we don't know until it happens, right? We don't have a crystal ball, but I could definitely see BK getting a new trial, and most of the shit is gonna get like thrown out, and you're still gonna have like Nancy Disgrace and Skeletor and all these idiots are gonna be like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. We need to fix the system. How could this guy get another trial? How could he get off? Because they're gonna still like kind of be going down the same narrative. It's like listen to
Right.
what Howard Bloom says. Okay, so that's a start. They're starting to they can't really do too much anymore to hold back that the evidence is there that shows like we're not idiot. You don't need to be a forensic specialist to you see the blood. You see it's 4 college people that like this wasn't done in 3 minutes, and there's not one minute little speck of DNA in this guy's car. Nothing in his apartment, nothing in his parents' house. Just one small little thing of touch DNA. So is it, going back to Loach here, there are people saying, finally, kind of whether hidden or whatever, that there was kind of a little argument well, that's a pretty big fucking deal to me. Now, does that mean that Loach had anything to do with anything at all? No, it doesn't. So people always go crazy. They're like, oh, you're attacking people and you're bashing people. No, no one ever said no. Like I never heard you say, "Oh, Loach is guilty." No one ever said that.
I've never said that.
Right? Exactly. We're not saying that. It's just we're just bringing stuff to question. Now, if someone gets murdered, I would think it would be pretty. It's like so everyone says like oh Jack DeCore, he was number 1 suspect, right? He's Kaylee's ex, and I agree, and I agree with that he would be one of the top people on the list that you would investigate. Absolutely, absolutely. That is, you also need to look at Dylan and Bethany. Why are they left alive? What's so fucking special about them that they that they get, that's high, everything with that's highly suspicious. Then you find out.
If I can throw something in here.
Go ahead.
Give yourself a little, because you're kind of everywhere, man. You're like blowing my mind. But getting back to just real quickly, what Harsh explained earlier about.
Thank you, Juror 13.
Frats, about the secrecies in the frats. Do you think a detective, a cop, a CI, anybody questioning somebody in the frats, do you think those frat boys give a shit?
No,
and that
secrecy is going to come first, right? So,
yes.
To me, that's why nobody's talking. That's why.
It will. It will, but my point. I mean, I know I said like a million things, but just a real quick little thing. What I want people to understand too, you have to remember: is it possible that Ethan got into some kind of fight or whatever, and maybe he maybe he did piss off Loach, at this party, and maybe they did have a fight. That could have happened. Sure. And could there be a fight
And that still had nothing to do with what happened at the house. Absolutely. You could have both. You could have two events.
Oh,
There could have been a
absolutely.
fight
Yeah.
with, like we everyone keeps watching not the 2:30 video, but like even the earlier, at like 1:30, like,
Yeah.
it sounds like a fight or whatever. And maybe that is Ethan. Maybe there is a fight outside. That doesn't mean that's when the murder happened, or it was a murder at all. It could have just been a little, a little
Two things
skirmish.
happened the same night, right?
Right. It's possible. It is possible.
Well, real quick, let me speak to these real fast because I'm sorry I let this go, Kwanda. I just now saw that. Bethany Funk is stupid with no courage. If you watch the body cam video where cops came and Xana talks to them, you see Bethany in real time pretend to not be a housemate so easily. Bethany Funk, pathetic and scared for her life. If Bethany Funk won't ever say the truth, and I can agree. I feel like she is truly pathetic with that. And then Juror 13 drops, says to my favorite host, Dago thing, and his channel, #1 fan here. Well, I appreciate you very much, my brother. Very much so. More than you know. But no, and yes, these things make sense, 1 and Randy both. But here's another thing. Let me throw this at you both and everybody else out here and think about this just for a second. We didn't even realize who David Loach or David Baracoa, who Baracoa were until 4chan put them out there. Okay. We didn't know anything about them until 4chan put them out there. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you guys. How many students are at that school? Thousands, right?
Mm.
But conveniently and coincidentally, which you guys know I don't believe in coincidences, not in this shit, okay? Only those two were spoke about. They could have picked anybody they wanted to put on 4chan and say that these guys were involved in something, but they picked those two, and it wasn't just one person that said it. It was multiple people that said it on 4chan in completely separate posts. Why those two?
Right.
If there is no form of involvement there, okay? Why didn't they pick somebody else? Or Pete Longoria or Dave or anybody else that has been attached to this case? Nobody said another word about anybody else but those two. That's it. Okay. And to create the stories, 4, 5, 6, 8 different people are telling the same story in different ways. Something's not right there. Okay.
No.
And again, yeah, it could be completely separate things. The fight could have happened and have nothing to do with what actually happened that night.
Right.
Or it did. We don't know, but it can both, two things can be the same at the same time.
Right.
That's very true.
But should he, like, what the other, I can't, who's the other guest you have on?
David Baracoa, who was claiming that he was out as
no. The other guy you have on panel.
Oh, Randy Furr. Yeah.
Okay, Randy Furr. What he was saying, I absolutely agree that even if there was, there was a fight or whatever, these guys, they don't give a shit. They don't care about the cops or whatever.
Right.
Sure, they're gonna try to be secret. Absolutely.
And I agree with that, and that's what I'm saying is, like, for everything that was talked about with all of the interviews to all the students that were there, everybody in their friends group, I pointed out to you guys multiple times. It seems interesting to me how many people distanced themselves from these 4 that night, from the house that night. People that would always be there, that normally are there. Mind you, Bethany was at the frat house that night with them. Mind you, Dylan was there at one point and remembered them being there. So it makes you wonder, does Bethany know? Is her exculpatory evidence? Does she know something that was said or that went down at that frat house before she came home? And that leads to what went on that night, possibly? Does she remember? Does she know? Was she told? Go ahead and open your mouth and see what happens to you. Because I'm starting to really, truly wonder, because I can't get past, as much as 4chan is a joke, I get it.
Yeah.
As much as 4chan is not to be relied on, as much as 4chan is not to be something that I think is to be taken serious in all aspects, but is it? Is my question. Is it? Because again, 4,000 to 5,000 different people that could have been chosen to be talked about on 4chan during this, and 8 to 10 different people picked same two, something's not right with that, in my opinion. And then we have Jeff having to change his story for some reason, and all these other little things. As I've been telling you guys, as we stay over at Devil's Advocates, the devil is in the details, folks. All these little details. Okay, when you start pulling these threads that I like to pull, and they open out, there's something there, okay, that I can't just walk away from. Something's wrong. Now, how it all plays out as to the cover up or this and that, and Brian Cook, I don't know. None of us do. Nobody can figure this shit out. But there's too many what you would call coincidences that are not coincidences, in my opinion. So I'm not parlaying anything to the side of this and saying, nope, it wasn't Loach, it wasn't Barry, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. These are all absolute problems, Jen. And they all, in my opinion, have something to do with this. Just as much as what Harsh is saying, okay? And we're just, now, you guys are dumb. You want to pay attention to 4chan? You're stupid. You're this. Okay, then I'll be stupid if you think I am. But guess what? The first fucking time that it's proven that one of those things is a fact, you better watch out, buddy, because I'm coming. Welcome, Ms. Kiki. Good to see you. I think you should watch the comment I saw yesterday. I'm not sure what it was, Miss Kiki. Thank you for being here, though. Remember when Ann was trying to get U of I cameras? I don't think she ever got them. I don't think she did either. And I don't think she was going to get them. Anyway, I know I'm rambling today. I'm in a mood today, guys, because I'm sick of this. I'm just sick of this ridiculous.
It's so sad, yeah. And it's sad because I think there's a strong chance that we're still not going to know what happened.
Of course not. Hester Bryan, is it fake news that coworkers filing? I don't believe so, my friend. Just keep your pants on. Try to have some patience, because I think it's coming. I truly do. Yeah, they did get a threat while they were sitting in court. They showed it to Brian, and if I remember correctly. Anyway, I want to get this moving here down here too, so that we can get out of here. I don't want to have you guys here all day. Let me finish this up real quick, because he's about to explain the one part that I was actually pulling this for.
All
right, StreamYard, you want to fight with me today? We can go. Let's go out in the street. Come on. Sorry, you guys. It just jumped down for no reason. Hold on.
Dylan Mortensen.
Can you guys hear it when it's playing?
She says she has Kaylee running and saying someone's here, which would suggest that Kaylee has heard something happening. And while we're on the subject of Kaylee, we also have Kaylee's father in the aftermath of this crime, who makes the statement, they didn't have to go upstairs. They didn't have to go upstairs. Now, for a start off, the term they, the word they keeps getting used all the way through. And I know some people are going to say it's a figure of speech. They can be one person. But everybody keeps saying it. They. We've got nods and nudges from the likes of Bethany Funk.
Not really, though, because he could have said he didn't have to go upstairs if he believes that it's just he. But he says they didn't have to go upstairs instead of he didn't have to go upstairs. So that is kind of important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard that she potentially saw a naked person leave the house. We've got the front door being open, yet someone else sees someone else heading towards the back door. So you've got two doors. You've got professionals in documentation stating that it would appear that Xana and Ethan were both killed simultaneously. That means,
again, that was John Claude Van Damme. That's how that happened. Remember that.
At the same time, and there seems to be again, scientific proof that connects and is able to definitively show the order with which these individuals were killed, which is where this potentially multiple people or multiple weapons comes into it. And we know, again, if we've been paying attention, that law enforcement, when they were searching, they were still looking for knives and sheaths, despite the fact that they had a sheath already. So did they think that there was other things? The wounds don't match, these sort of statements, Kathy Mabbott's statements, Steve Goncalves' statements. And yes, we've speculated that the K-bar knife can be used in multiple ways, especially with someone who is au fait with that weapon. But again, what I spoke about yesterday with the sororities and the fraternities, they reference the secrecy. If you don't say anything at the beginning, there becomes a window. There's a window of opportunity. There's a window where you can say something and say, this is what happened, and the rest is history. But there's a narrow margin there, and eventually that will close. It gets to the point where that is closed, and there is no coming back from that. And we have an 8-hour time delay between the acquisition of the crime and help being obtained.
Welcome, Lenny Mo. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Kawanda. I don't even know where we're at with that. Real quick, let me check. 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. Looks like number 7. That's amazing. Towards our goal says, I will never get over them destroying the house and the fridges happen to malfunction, not to mention the fire. It's all bullshit. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Kawanda. It doesn't, too many things happen, guys, and these are not coincidences, but thank you again for that, Kawanda. Number 7 towards our goal. That is so amazing. God bless. So very generous of you. And yes, that's that great statement because it's all stuff that happened and it's ridiculous, guys.
Which that is never going to go away and is never going to make sense. Not with the story that we've been told. Bryan Kohberger, the outsider, disconnects from the University of Idaho, pushes the blame onto another university, which is now being further marketed as this is not University of Idaho's fault. This is Washington State University's fault. And this is now remarketed to reaffirm, not our problem, not University of Idaho, not Moscow, Idaho, nothing to do with us. This is a problem that came from somewhere else and that it brought to us. We are the victims here. We're the victims. Well, you're the victims, but yet multiple individuals lost their lives, even running up to this situation. We have multiple people who lost their lives around the fraternities and sororities. We've got sororities and fraternities literally on probation for health and safety reasons. And we have a situation with Xana and Ethan that, in my opinion, we've been told there was a fight. The fight could have been bad because the parents have said that they were hoping to get over, but they couldn't. They've been drinking. And you have Xana, who is the worst injured out of all of them. She's the worst. And I believe that she was trying to protect Ethan. I believe that Xana was injured to the proportion she was because she was protecting Ethan. The person had gone after Ethan. But that doesn't make a good marketing tool, does it? That doesn't market properly, because then the questions would be, well, why did Bryan Kohberger come from Washington over to Idaho to break into this house to go after Ethan? That makes no sense when you've got you've got 5 girls in the house, because that removes the sexual proponent of it, doesn't it? That's now gone, because that's still a common thread being sort of marketed again in the public domain. It sits very uncomfortable with me that we've got someone sitting in jail, prison, whatever, who's going to do the rest of his life there. But literally running up to him taking the plea deal, they push forward a multiple perpetrator scenario of 4 individuals. 3 of these individuals who were interacting with these individuals on the actual night. So we can only guess whose names they were. But yeah, it just, to me, we're downplaying. And I have said this recently, I think we're downplaying the role that fraternities and sororities, the power that they have, the influence that they have, and that window of opportunity to say something, to do the right thing. And another nudge is where, in that what I showed you yesterday, if you missed the video, go and find it and watch it. I'm not doing your homework for you. Go and get it. It was literally uploaded yesterday. And they say, look, you've got to, if you can't deal with it, you have to move away from it. Get yourself away, relocate, and put states between you. And what have we seen in the aftermath of this? We've seen Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk do just that. They've done just that. They were put in a position of knowledge. In my opinion, they were put in a position of knowledge. They were likely scared. They were likely, they're part of the Greek system, omerta, and all that. And it got to a point where too much time had passed. And now you can't talk. Now you can't say anything. Now this is a secret that you're going to have to carry with you. And there doesn't seem to be any solidarity between Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Literally, Bethany Funk didn't even go to the sentencing hearing.
Thank you for that. Again, Kawanda, for that super sticker. God bless, hon. So very generous and sweet of you. Very much appreciated.
And for Brian, or the plea deal hearing, didn't even go. Didn't go.
And for that, too, Kawanda. Number 8. She's trying to get us to 10, guys. That's awesome of you. I love it. Appreciate it very much. More than you know. Thank you. Thank you.
Why is that? Why would she not offer any solidarity to the person who shared this event with her? In my opinion, that makes no sense. Maybe you can make some sense of it. Let me know down below in the comments. But for those of you who think this is narcotics and gangs and cartels or, the brotherhood, I don't think they'd have left anyone alive. It makes no sense that they've left anyone alive. Not unless you're saying that these two individuals, Bethany...
I don't think the stickers count. Let me look. Oh, no, we hit 10. You guys should be getting confetti in the chat. Thank you so much for that, Kawanda. You're an angel. God bless. Very much appreciated. Thank you for helping us hit our goal today. But very, very much appreciated. You're amazing. Thank you so much for that.
Funk and Dylan Mortensen are ranked members. So they knew that there was no way, even when put under intense scrutiny, which was incoming, well, you would think we've seen it, and it didn't, so maybe there's something else there. But the point being, they were a risk to that. They were a risk. But fraternities and sororities, when you're dealing with these youngsters and the secrecy, and you get to a point where you have together made a conscious decision to formulate a story. And
amazing. Thank you again, Kawanda. And protect your ears, guys, because it's coming. I got to do it. Thank you very much. Amazing.
That look on Harsh's face right there.
Yeah. I'm really good at my pause game. I'm really good at that. Thank you so much, Kawanda. You're amazing, hon. But yeah, this is about done too, guys. Give me 1 second.
And to hide the truth, and you are balls deep in it. To me, this is always going to be my biggest alternative in the Idaho 4 case. In the absence of knowing that Brian Kohberger did this crime beyond a reasonable doubt, I will always side-eye the fraternities and sororities. And just as the cherry on top, it just so happens that Ann Taylor, where does she come from? The very same system. Love you all, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Thank you, Harsh. Appreciate you very much, my friend. Great video, great points. And listen, guys, as always, two things can be the same. Two things can be right at the same time. Two things can happen. This could be a conglomeration of things that went on that night, folks. We don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Randy, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I just like to, Dago, I mean, he knows what I feel, and I know he's in agreement with me as well. I just like to ask different people when they think this started, like kind of the timeline and whatnot. So, what is your, what is your opinion or your view? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, I one of these days I'll actually remember the time, the 2:55 or 2:56 time when Kaylee and Maddie's phone both go completely dark.
Right.
Do you like? Do you? I'm not saying they were killed at that time, but do you think that the part of the incident that started to involve them started at that point? And again, we've said many times, and I agree, and we have cases like Gabby Petito, and there's other cases, right? That a cell phone is not always a phone is not proof of life. But
Right.
with that in mind, the fact that there's no activity on their phone, like nothing, and I don't know how much, like I don't know if you watched the videos of like Kaylee at the corner club that night and Kaylee at the food truck, like she's on her phone nonstop.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I just curious. I just I like to get so what's your opinion? Like, how do you feel about that? Not to put sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I just like to get different, hear different people's point of view and their
Are we,
feedback.
are we talking timeline? Is that what your question
Well,
is?
well, kind of, yeah, like
Or
kind of like timeline, and and I don't know, I don't know your exact opinion, like what you feel about like Kaylee and Matt, like when they were killed or whatnot. I just curious how you felt, what different people feel about their phones going dark, like right at the same right. So they're trying to text and call, right, Jack D, like frantically, like calling him,
Right.
and then and it's just complete like dark. No TikTok, no Snapchat, nothing.
Yeah, like they were turned off purposely.
Well,
Like yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I still feel like this may have started off as maybe just a confrontational situation, not maybe like it started as like words, a confrontation. Maybe they were just going to try to scare them or hurt them, and it went too
Not
far.
physical.
I still believe that's possible.
Right.
And so in turn, the phones going off at that time could be the start of the confrontation, quote unquote. Or whatever it was. It could be. It could have been a combination of things, like I said, that went on that night. Okay. And yeah, Steve does know, and don't forget something. The whole thing, I think it was Olivia that brought about the point that after talking to the prosecution, which again we don't know who to believe anymore, that there were experimental post-mortem injuries that were done to Ethan and others, meaning somebody
Right.
was there after they were already deceased, doing things to them, which to me comes off to be like anger. Okay. They really want to make them, show a message with this situation, so on and so forth. So I'm just saying, guys, there's a lot of different things here
Yeah.
to take into
And
account.
right. And I got like, is it, there's a lot of different scenarios and different things. Is it possible that, you know, Ethan was in some kind of fight with Loach or these or frat guys or whatever, and these, they were from a party, they were drinking. Maybe the fight went a little bit too far, or a little, maybe,
Yeah, exactly.
what did you just, this other thing that you just covered, right? The guy that delivered the food,
Yeah,
and the guy is clearly getting beaten on the ground, and the other guy's like bashing his head, like the guy already won the fight and he's still bashing his head on the ground. So
exactly.
is that like, could that possibly be that Ethan was got attacked, and obviously Xana's going to jump in, try to defend him, help him, and
Right.
the fight got too far. It got a lot further than people expected, or it went too far. And then you got Kaylee and Maddie maybe come home right as this shit is going on, and
Sure.
and then they didn't know what to do with Kaylee and Maddie now.
Right.
I could see it. I could see it happening.
And that's why I've always questioned some of the other aspects to this, such as the fact that Ethan was completely nude. Xana was in her underwear, as though they may have been home beforehand, like was stated originally by her dad, doing their private time, whatever you want to call it, being boyfriend, girlfriend. It's normal. And had their pizza, watched their movies, and then the other two came home and all hell broke loose. I don't know. We don't have answers, but it's definitely something that I can imagine being true. I'll just put it that way. Thank you, Meg. As
Yeah.
one situation, or again, I'm starting to really, truly, fully believe. Welcome, Krista. That this is a combination of things that went on at the same time that night. Okay,
Right.
that does make sense to me. Hayden, what do you?
Right.
Just saying. Just saying.
So right. So like everyone, is going down this hole that like, oh well, there was a CI in the house, and that
Right.
so they wanted to go after the CI. It may not even be that. Like there could be a CI in the house, but it might not even be about that.
Might have
Like I
nothing to
said,
do with it.
it could be that just Ethan got into a fight with someone, and we have further evidence from other incidents that have nothing to do with anyone from Idaho 4, right? The other people that the fraternity tries to hide shit, and people get attacked, they have fights, and then they try to cover it up. So was there some kind of fight that went just too far, and then Kaylee and Maddie stumbled upon it, just bad timing? I know people.
Yes.
I know people are going to say, "Oh, I don't believe that." Well, that does happen, though. There are
Can.
sometimes people are in the
Can.
wrong place at the wrong time.
It absolutely can. It absolutely can, for sure. I really appreciate how interactive you guys have been today over here on the chat. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All the people that are here. It was amazing, folks. 100%. And I love this interaction. I love your thoughts, your
But
feelings, your opinions, always.
how do these guys feel? How does Randy? I know you didn't get to answer yet. What do you feel about the 2:55 time?
I hate to do this to you guys. The wife just got home. I got to jump off panel.
That's
and
okay.
Oh,
We
that's
have to.
okay.
We're gonna be shutting down anyway,
I'm
buddy.
so
I appreciate
sorry.
you.
1-1.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry, man.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'll get you.
It was
You get me next time for sure. But
it
thank you,
was
Dave.
No
great to
problem.
have you
I
here,
will.
Randy. Thank you for joining
And
us,
Krista,
brother.
hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Enjoy. Take over for me. Thanks, babe.
Take care, Randy. Real
Yeah.
quick.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Dago.
Moto Man. I appreciate you, brother. The problem with the gang beat theory, there would be more bloody fingerprints found. No. If it was due to a drunken fight, you're not going to be prepared with gloves and whatnot. See, that's what I'm saying. It would make more sense
Yeah.
if it wasn't, but it could be that the fight provoked something to happen after the fact.
Right.
My thought was, is the fight happened and
Exactly.
they walked away. Xana and Ethan left. Maybe they got the better, whoever got the better of Loach or whoever it was, okay, left. They got the better of that person, and that person's pissed now. Like, you know what? No, you ain't gonna do that to me. You humiliated me in front of the whole frat house, whatever. I'm gonna get you. And they plan something out and they go after them later. Or again, like I said, two separate things happening at the same time is very plausible in my opinion too.
Right.
And that could be too. They just stopped using their phones. There's things that are coincidental. Believe it or not. As much as I hate coincidence, some of them can be. Not everything is gotta be.
Right, but you gotta base behavior though. I agree with that.
Yes,
There are
I agree.
coincidences, but maybe Maddie was drunk, right? We can guess, based on the toxicology that they gave us, and it
Generic.
appears, she was a little out of it, I guess. But Kaylee is on her phone nonstop the whole time, so
Yeah.
I have trouble believing that she's just all of a sudden just gonna
Or
completely stop.
let me put one more theory out there to you guys, because I still cannot discount Kaylee being lured back to that house. Okay? I can't.
Yeah.
So, what if the word got out, like I said, people were told, you need to stay away from this circle tonight. There's going to be some shit that goes down. Don't go over there tonight. Stay away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And what if it was heard and it was known that something was going to happen and other people took advantage of that situation to deal with another situation at the same time is what I'm saying. You know what I mean by that?
You're not,
Because
you're not wrong. Yeah, that's very possible.
Because Kim did say that this was known about for like a week beforehand, that this was going to happen. Okay. He reiterated that the other day when she was here, and that many people knew about this and were involved. So again, if the premeditated side, the thing that was planned was there, it was going into effect, and other people said, you know what, I'm going to jump into this and took advantage of that situation to make something else happen. I'm just saying that could explain why more happened than maybe was supposed to. I'll just put it that way. Okay. It's just a thought, folks. I'm not saying it's a fact. So please don't state that it is. Everything we talk about is absolutely purely alleged based on speculative theory, other than the documents. Remember that always. But that's just what I'm saying. So,
well, everything anything that we come up with is way more plausible than the goddamn one-man perp theory.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
There's no question in that.
Right. Like they're calling us conspiracy theories, but what you're saying doesn't make any sense.
No,
and
right.
If it does, if it happened that way, let us know how it happened so we can just move on with our lives.
Yeah, and not only and what you're saying there, and not only does it not make sense, we now have evidence that the evidence that they use to get the probable cause affidavit is bullshit. Like they shouldn't even be like right now. There's not even enough info to get an arrest on BK.
There should never been an arrest.
So there's a problem. There's a problem with that.
And one like being in like law enforcement, what like isn't that something that like when they realize that's all not true, like isn't that what that's for, to keep them there or not keep them there? If they say it and they're just taking Dylan's word for it, why?
Well, right. Well, the problem, the issue goes to the judge. The judge, like, they're gonna try to challenge the problem, and you got the grand jury, that indicts a ham sandwich. So the grand jury process is bullshit in this. I understand why they have it the way they have it. To like people are like secret, and it's to protect, people so that people come forward and they give info, but look at what we have here. I mean, we're hearing that the grand jury was very suspect of Dylan and Bethany, and they should have been, but okay, and nothing happens. What should have happened, I mean, and Taylor, all this stuff about the suspect vehicle 1, the 7 minutes and 26 seconds that are missing, BK's phone going off, the timing advance records that Ashley Jennings lied about, saying that they don't have access to, all this stuff. I would think that someone getting that's trying to get an arrest, PCA, if there's one lie, I mean, in the thing, the judge should throw out the whole thing. And how do you know someone's not lying about something else? I mean, there's just lies all through it. And, we covered the cell phone thing a million times.
Yeah.
You read, all I could tell people, I know if there's someone new in the, that's in here or not, just read very carefully. Read the paragraph at the end there where they talk in the PCA, where they talk about the cell phone. They do not say that BK's phone 100% was turned off. That's not what it says at all. All it says is that this FBI specialist or whatever, and his determination, it leads him to believe that someone who would be doing a crime of this magnitude would show behavior of turning a phone off. That's all it says. It doesn't say that they have proof that he turned his phone off. And we have proof from JJ State of the Deep, from Devil's Advocates, and Lee himself took a trip, boots on the ground, went to Wawa Park, and guess what happened when they went there? They tried to call in on a live show and they lost phone connection.
Because it connects to a separate tower that
Right.
was not checked and it was not
Right. And
talked
did
about.
they exactly? Did they turn their phone off? No, they did not turn their phone off. But so this is why I said many times the important thing to look at is not like everyone's like, oh,
Exactly,
you know,
witchy.
that's like an important, you know, oh, you know, someone's, you know, oh, they're trying to be smart and they turn their phone off, so no one knows that where they were.
Right.
What the important thing about that is not about that night that his phone went off at whatever 2 o'clock or 2 whatever it was. The important thing is to look at is the behavior pattern.
Right.
He said he likes to go driving. He likes to go stargazing, right? And as much as people say, "Oh, that's bullshit," no, it's not. There are people who like to. There are people who like to go driving. What you need to look at, what I would look at as an investigator, I would look at his previous 6 months. I would look at
a year.
I would look at
2 years.
I would look at his previous phone records and look at is this something, and being that he's going to school there, is this something that happened multiple times? Does it appear that his phone gets turned off in other days and other times? But you don't hear anything. You don't hear any of this.
No.
Because they don't want you to hear it. But to me, the important thing is pattern of behavior, not just what someone does in one night. Because
that again is coming. Yeah, that's
Right,
again,
go
folks,
ahead.
coming from a law enforcement officer that's making that statement in that
It makes sense, because I was
pointing
thinking
that out.
if we could figure out if we get the cell phone records for all 4 of them, and
I'm
maybe
trying.
and for the last 6 months,
I'm gonna try to FOIA this stuff, you guys. I don't know what the hell it's gonna cost and how it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to FOIA.
Well,
That's
tell
what
us
I'm
the
gonna do
story.
next.
What have they been doing for the last 6 months? What have their phones been saying? What are they
Right.
who?
Exactly. And that all of this is like huge. This is how you actually solve a case.
Right.
It's looking at not just the immediate event. It's the pattern of behavior. And it could be something as simple as, oh, every day when this person gets up at 8 a.m., they use a blue toothpaste every day. Well,
If you're
on this day
trying
they
to
use
truly investigate, that's what you do.
yeah,
Yes.
right. And on this day they use the red toothpaste. Well, every other day you use the blue toothpaste. How come you use the red toothpaste? Like that you have to look at the pattern. It's the pattern of behavior. And because it's not just what you would do or what I would do. You have to look at what is normal for this person. That's what you have to evaluate. And that's what so many people just look at it. Oh, well, I wouldn't turn my phone off at 2 o'clock. I wouldn't do this. It's not about what you would do. It's about what that person would do.
Right. And Moto Man, thank you again, brother, says there's another statement in the PCA that's interesting if you read it slowly and carefully. And I agree, sir. There's a few. Thank you again for that. Go ahead, Krista.
Behavior, like with pattern behavior with Dylan, just say Dylan per se. With the way that she describes what she saw, what she did, first of all, do her parents recognize? Is that a pattern of behavior that you don't recognize reality, or is it something that happens to you that you don't know something's real or not real? Like
I'm going to tell you right now, Krista, everything she said, she was told to say to get out of what she was doing. When she was making them dumbass statements saying, well, I don't know if that's really what happened or if it was just my mind or if my dream or this. Her mother and her stepmother probably said, deny it as much as you can, get away from it as much as you can. She didn't want to talk to him. That's why she doesn't
even answer the damn question.
No,
she is ridiculous. I mean,
she gives every answer you can give to every question.
It makes me want to angry.
And I hate to cut you guys off.
Yeah.
I hate to cut you guys off. I'm sorry, but I have to run and do something before we have a show tonight.
No problem.
Thank you, 1-1. I really appreciate your input today, brother. Randy, you as well.
I'll see you later.
Krista. All right, bro. But yes, Krista, absolutely. You are correct. I wish you could have been up here earlier. I appreciate you joining me. But guys, don't forget 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, typically unique. Bronx Tales True Crime, Last 24, myself are going to be joined by Washington defense attorney Kevin Curtis as we break down the Idaho court case, the WSU lawsuit, and other things that we discuss. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be here, guys. You don't want to miss this one, but I'm sorry I have to break this off early.
Yeah.
I got to go handle. There's a repairman here looking at my septic system again.
I might actually go live in about 15 minutes. I'm not sure. True crime.
Okay. Good. You guys go check out Miss Krista over at Reality with Krista Marie. Please and thank you.
I gotta keep going.
Yeah, I got you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely, I got you. I get it. I do. I get it. Get it. Kim Charlton, welcome from New Brunswick, Canada. I appreciate ya. And then yes, after we do our show tonight, verdict room, I will be jumping on Crimes After Dark with Mr. 11, Logan, Robin, and Mr. Lee, as we do every night, guys, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we got a triple play for you today after this show. So I hope to see you all of you at all these places. If you can do it, it would be amazing. Thank you all so much for your support in every aspect. All of the super chats, you guys were amazing today. I swear to God. God bless.
I'm very proud of you guys. One with Dago, what you guys are doing with Kim. You guys are so respectfully, and with JJ, you guys all have different perspectives, but it makes sense. And nobody's disagreeing disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I love doing it. I love doing it.
So many different angles. And it's okay, we can all agree that
that's what makes it so good, I think. Yes,
it does. I mean, it's informative.
Absolutely. You guys are awesome. Kawanda, thank you so much for all of that. Juror 13, God bless all of you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you again. Moto Man, thank you. My moderators, you guys are amazing. I love you guys to death. Thank you to my production manager, Mike, my videographer, Molly, every single one of my amazing moderators. You guys are, I can't even explain it, guys. I love you guys so very much. And I will see you soon. Everybody have a great day. For those of you that I don't see, I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah. Until then, don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and don't change nothing. Because as always, and you know it, you are the beautiful people. We'll see you soon, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The coffee's cold, the final stain. We